This is Dr. Gigi Sabbat, and you're listening into the Walk With Me podcast. My guest today is Nina Harry. Welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you?
Fantastic. Every day is a blessing. It's such an honor to have you here today, Nina.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I was so excited. I was looking forward to this day. Um, yeah, I'm so honored. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, and I was looking forward to it too. Nina, can you tell us a little bit more about you and where are you from?
Yeah, so I am from Germany actually, originally born and raised. I moved here to Florida back in 2012 on a student visa, and fast forward, two kids now live in St. Augustine. My two daughters are 12 and 4. And yeah, I have the business Experience Flow already for almost, yeah, going on 2 years, where I help with sound bath, meditation, breath work, and yoga, to help people feel better in their bodies. Mm.
Absolutely. And you do have a financial background as well. You offer an insurance. Tell us a little bit more about what inspired you to do so.
So, oh yeah, well, back in 2012 when I came here, actually in Germany, I did my master's degree in hospitality management. So that's actually how I came here to Miami, was on a student visa for that, and I worked in a hotel in Miami Beach. And I was 25 at that point, coming to America, living la vida loca, and loved it, enjoyed that year. And I was supposed to go back, right, after 12 months. That was
Mhm.
the length of my visa is like a J1, same like these au pairs have when they come here. And yeah, met my now ex-husband, father of my daughter, Lorelai. And yeah, we were not long together. I met him partying, drinking, and doing drugs. And I was doing the same thing, but then I became pregnant and I naturally stopped doing all of these things. And he kept doing them. And he would disappear and cheat and do all kinds of stuff. So for me, it was clear I needed to be a single mom. I needed to move out. So I needed to get a job ASAP. And I didn't have a car. I didn't have a driver's license. I didn't have a phone. I was like broke. I had nothing. My visa had expired at that point, and we were working on getting myself the citizenship, which also isn't free. So I landed this job at this insurance company. And first, I was an assistant, and then I saw what these other girls were making. And I thought, man, that's my ticket out. Like, if I was to make that kind of money selling on commission-based insurance, that's my way to get out. And yeah, that's how I kind of stumbled into that. And I, developed a passion for it because it really, like, life insurance is a good thing. You know, life insurance is amazing, not only as like a death benefit to make sure that, like, cremations and funerals are covered, but also to, when somebody dies, to pay off the mortgage, or to ensure that your partner still has income after your passing. Because, stuff can also always happen. Like, people who have an accident don't think that they're going to have an accident, right? So that is just a super awesome protection. And then most of my products that I sell, they also pay out to you while you're still alive. So they pay out if you have a heart attack, stroke, cancer, paralysis, Parkinson's disease, you sit in a wheelchair. And these are all reasons in the 13 years that I'm doing this that also had paid out to my clients. So I don't want anything happen to anybody, but imagine, you have somebody that is 45, is married, has a mortgage, has young kids, has a stroke, and now, he can't work no more. So what are they going to do? Well, there's the life insurance policy that definitely helps with that. So, and it's also tax-free money. So, these are all things. And then I also do IULs and retirement protection, and I'm also a notary, so I help people with their asset protection when it comes to 401k rollovers and that part of retirement. I help with setting up trusts. Yeah, all of that. That's
Absolutely.
yeah, it's pretty cool.
Very powerful. Yes, I definitely understand. I know how cool it is. I was in that
Yeah.
space for quite a while, the financial space. I have a financial background, and I have so much respect for people like you who are continuing to assist others in regards to finances. So, yeah, that's amazing work that you're doing. What about financial literacy? Let's talk a little bit more about financial literacy. Why
Yeah.
is financial literacy so important?
Yeah, I mean, most people don't know where their money is going to, where, taxes are going to, what are the fees, where to put your money. Is it a good idea to put them in crypto, or, do I put them in a 401k? Because that kind of stuff is not taught in school, sadly. We, it should be taught in school, that what are the right steps to prepare for your life when it comes to your finances. People lose money left and right because they put it in the wrong product, and nobody really informed them, because they also don't know where to get that information. A lot of people are like, oh, I want to put money to the side. Oh, or they randomly file their taxes by themselves, and they don't have an accountant that tells them, oh, we can actually make sure that you get back more. Or if you have your own LLC and you're a business owner, what you can actually all write off. There's so much that you don't have to give to Uncle Sam. They're yeah.
Thank you for
It's
sharing,
important.
Nina.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
important to
Now,
know.
I want to circle back to what you stated earlier. You talked about some of the things that you went through as far as alcohol, drugs, but then you also went through postpartum depression. Let's talk a little bit more about your experience with those subjects. Tell us a little bit more about your story.
Yeah. So I actually have quite a history with drugs, where that already happened in Germany, um, where I tried out lots of different things. Friends passed away. Really, stuff where you think, oh, that kind of stuff doesn't happen in Germany. Yeah, it does. So, and I was really young too. I grew up in a village. Maybe 1,000 people live there, like in the forest. Like you have to drive through a forest, up the mountain. Like that's kind of the village where I'm from. So,
Yeah.
and there's nothing else to do but drinking, and drinking is legal in Germany. With 16, you have access to beer and wine. You can just buy that in the store, and you can just openly drink that on the sidewalk. You don't have to even cover it up. It's just like, it's no big deal. It's legal, and you are allowed to do that. So, so you have access to that kind of stuff very early. And yeah, but then when I came here to America, and I didn't know anybody here at first, I didn't have access to that, right? So I became sober for a while. But then living in Miami Beach, that's where I first landed. And that's where my job was, because I studied hospitality, and then coming to America, that's also the job then that I did. And yeah, lived in a little studio apartment. It's all I really could afford on that kind of salary. Well, then, I started partying again, and built up my connection from there. Met people from all kinds of lives and all kinds of places. I mean, Miami's just a hot spot, right? For everything and everybody. I mean, I had so much fun, right? I don't always was, drunk and on drugs, but I, developed then, Molly, cocaine, you name it. I loved it. And that's also when I then met my ex-husband. Um, and I met him partying and drinking, and oh, we had so much fun. But then I became pregnant, and he kept partying and living that kind of lifestyle, and for me, naturally, that was over. And that's kind of when everything falls off, right? And the curtains are like opening up, and you're like, this kind of weird that he still keeps doing that, right? And that he puts us in that kind of situation where he's always gone, and when he comes back, he's drunk. You can't ask him where he was, and then he became abusive, and started with hitting the wall, but then quickly moved over into hitting me. Then we had holding me at gunpoint in situations where it I don't wish that on anybody. Like, it was really bad. So, and like I said, I was able to escape that, and that for me was like a point where I said, oh, I'm a single mom now. That's also when I quit smoking in that kind of stressful situation. I was like, no more cigarettes, no more weeds, no more drinking, nothing. I was completely sober for a while. Then I did insurance, and did really good in that business for a while. I mean, really good. I'm really good at scheduling, and if you know one thing about Germans, we know how to work. They're not people that complain. We work 6-7 days a week, as long as the money is coming in. And in my childhood, I've always been poor, right? So I always was wearing hand-me-downs. Like, I'm one out of five. So we were, my mom would clean houses. My stepdad was unemployed. I didn't really have contact to my birth father. So it was all messy. And, being in that kind of situation all alone in America, being a single mom, no mom that you can just knock on the door and ask if she can help you out or whatever. So I was really working so hard to make sure that, I have a cushion, and to make sure that, the survival for me and my daughter was guaranteed. As like, even if I was to get sick for like 2-3 months, my bills will still be paid, right? So that was always important to me, and still is to this point. Like, I working hard to ensure that I always have money in the bank. Like, if something happens, you never know, to make sure that everything is taken care of. So then, like I said, I was a single mom for a while, but then I met my husband number 2, and we got together, and I also met him not working, and I was working, and it was like COVID happened, and he was smoking a little weed here and there, and then he liked to drink, so he brought the wine over again. And me being sober for all of these years, you give it to the sober person, and I have an addictive personality, just like working. Like, when I'm in work, I'm like, I can get really into it, and I don't stop. And it's exactly the same, extreme on the other side when it comes to, alcohol and drugs. Then it's like, if I do it, then I do it 100%. Like, there is no, middle ground. So, at least in the past. So we've been together. We separated in July. But yeah, I did take care of him and the family for 6 years altogether, that I paid all the bills until I said, no more. This is ending now. We're doing a cut here. And I was pregnant with Kalani back in 2021. Had her February of 2022, so she's turning 4 now soon. Super
Yay.
excited, big girl. Yes,
old.
yeah, she's awesome. Oh God, she's so cute. Yeah, and so I gave birth to her, and I still had her on the boob. 2 weeks
Right.
in after giving birth, I was already on the phone again, trying to make sales, blah, blah, blah. And he didn't do anything. He didn't help. I was begging him, hey, can you please, get a job? Can you do anything? Because I feel like I deserve this break now, and I deserve to, be here with the baby now. I did it now for the last 5 years now. Like, can you step up and do something? And well, he didn't. And, I got so exhausted from taking care of the baby and then making sure that the other kid is also taken care of, right? Because she's also still there, the household. And because, he never cleaned the bathroom or anything all this time I was together with him. So it was like all of it. And then taking care that, that the fridge was full and blah, blah, blah. It was like all on top of me. And he started saying things like, happiness is a choice. Happiness comes within. And it's like, he's like, why are you so mad all the time? I'm like, yeah, well, because, it's really a lot. And I didn't take any medication while I was breastfeeding. I didn't smoke and I didn't drink and anything, but I was really going through a really hard time and I couldn't point my finger on it. Why would I always be crying? Why would I, always have these nightmares? Why would my mind always spiral? Like I
Right.
would have thought of like, oh my God, my kid could tomorrow be hit by a car, and then I would like think about how I'm going to be at the funeral and what my life would look like. And I would spiral into like situations and I would build this, picture, this idea of my future. And it's like, how do you even get there? Right. And I was not even able to think about anything positive anymore. And yeah, I didn't know what it was until I really started to do some research. I was like, that's not even myself anymore, right? I can't stay like this. I can't be in this state of mind all the time, because this is definitely me, right? There's like
Right.
these
Good work
kids
on
that
finding out, Nina. Good work on doing the research. I'm so proud of you.
yeah, because I mean, you gotta start somewhere, and where most knowledge is located in books.
And what did
So
you find? What did you find that it ended up being that you were going through? What
yeah,
did you determine?
that it was really, postpartum depression, even, 18 months later, where it's like it was carrying and building up and getting, bigger and bigger. And I was just carrying this weight and I felt it in my heart. I felt it in my body. I felt it right here and I felt it in my back and on my shoulders. And I was like, and that's really what it is, right? Your body knows. Your body knows the weight on your shoulders. That's not just something that people say. Like, that stuff is real. Like, your body remembers all the emotional attacks, all the emotional abuse that goes somewhere. Your heart knows, your heart feels it. And in your heart center, it's like a memory. It's memorized. And when you say something like, my heart is breaking, that's really what's happening. Like, your heart is breaking and the weight on your shoulders. And yeah, I was, looking up all of these symptoms that I have, and I was, keeping track too. I'm somebody, I always have a little notebook. I always, write stuff down. I'm like, okay, well, it's Monday morning now. Now is extreme, like 8 a.m. I'm already like having a flare up of, oh, I can't breathe, right? Oh my God, what's happening? Why can I not breathe? And then the only way that would go away is with distractions, like the screen, working out hardcore, going for a run, working, like anything that would distract me from myself, right? Something that I don't have to go inward, where it's like, oh, I have to do something else. I need to get distracted. I need to get, and that's what most people even tell you, right? Why don't you try to get distracted? And it's like, no, actually, you should go close your eyes and go inward and see what the heck is the problem. What is going
That's
on?
right.
And you already know.
That's right.
You
And
already know.
Nina, the body keeps the score. And I highly recommend reading that book. And also, too,
Yeah.
you talk about the heart. I can't help but think about a collaborative book that I wrote with friends. It's called Overcoming Heart Blocks, Inspiring Stories for Healing from Trauma. If you can see that here, it's an Amazon
Huh.
best-selling book. And one of our authors does cover Reiki as well, the heart chakra in that book.
Right.
Yeah, the Diamond Heart. So highly suggest checking both books out. Yeah, as we're on that
Yeah,
subject.
I already wrote it down now, so I'm definitely going to check once we get off this call. Definitely like to read that. Yeah. And it's
Awesome.
exactly that what then also brought me into the sound bath, the yoga, the taking care of myself, also like getting a massage, buying myself something cute, something I like to wear, um, making sure my skin is taken care of, going to the hairdresser when I want. And it's all of that, impacts. Everything helps a little bit, right?
Absolutely. And Nina, before we get into a conversation about the sound baths and yoga, I'd love to circle back to postpartum depression and what
Mhm.
message do you have for an individual who's currently going through postpartum depression or has been through it? What message you have for that individual? Maybe they're even thinking about giving up.
Oh yeah, I did. I was like,
Oh,
I gave myself a time frame. I said, I need to come up with something, or 6 months, or I'm out of here. Like, there is no way that I'm going to keep living this life. Like, I'm not going to stay in pain and in this suffering. If this is what life is going to be for me, then it's not for me. Like, I was clear with that. And for anybody who goes through it,
right.
there's nothing wrong with you. You are not broken. You don't need to be repaired. Um,
That's right.
and there is help out there. Like, little things, taking off your socks, going outside, standing on the ground, and ground yourself. Looking around, finding 5 things, that you can see, 5 things you can smell, maybe even something you can touch, to go inward and come back to yourself. One thing that I learned and that does not help is going on social media. That is the absolute wrong thing to do when you're trying to get out of postpartum depression, because the thing that you see on there is not going to help you through it. There's help. You also can reach out to me on my website. There's a contact form as well. I'm always happy to help anyone that goes through that, and it's completely normal. It is your body responding to things, the trauma, the pain that has been sitting inside of you for a long time. Once you feel depression and the pain of that, it is already happening. And this is your body telling you, now you have to react, because now something needs to happen. It's been sleeping a while inside of your body. It's everywhere. It's in your fingernails, it's in your toes, it's everywhere. And now your body is telling you, we need to work on this. And the only way that you're going to do it is going inward and finding out the root, and then you go from there.
I love it. Thank you so much, Nina. Now, let's talk about sound baths. So, what inspired you to do sound baths, and what are the benefits of doing sound baths for the folks who join in on the classes?
Yes. So my sound bath meditation is a mix of different things, right? I'm also a Reiki master. So I also do a little bit of Reiki when everybody's laying down, and I'm trying to help everybody with that chakra alignment and stuff. But what I really do there is a complete nervous system reset. So that is one thing where are you sharing a pic? Oh yeah,
Yes,
look at that. Yes, these
sound
are
baths.
different sound bowls. I think I have 10 or 11 that I set up. I have tuning forks, I have a little drum, I do have chimes, and they did a picture of me. I don't know where I have it, where I'm like the goddess, with the 8 arms. And
Yes,
they call me a spiritual DJ because I'm doing binaural beats. I play the bowls. I do have a meditation. I'm like, you're gonna be completely zoned out. And the way I came into that was exactly through my postpartum depression, right? That was really
right.
the reason why I started all of this stuff. That I said, well, and it started with yoga. It started with like simple stretching and a little bit of breath work. And I was like, that actually makes me feel kind of nice. And then, I started reading books about yoga, and then where is it really coming from? Because I'm not doing the kind of yoga that you do in a hot box with weights, and you're not doing jumping jacks, right? I do
Right.
like to do the traditional yoga that is really about um, going inward. And we talked about that earlier. Most people don't want to. go inward, right? Most people try to find the next big thing, the next big distraction, right? Most people say, oh, if I have $10,000 in the bank, then I'll be happy. Oh, when I have this car, then I'll be happy. Oh, when I buy this, and it's always about owning stuff, right? Or if I have this and I have that, then I'm going to be happy. But, happiness never comes because you're always trying to find next big thing. And it's also something, that we've been taught from society is that it can't be you that makes you happy. It always needs to be like the partner, or you need to have 15 children, or you need to have, this job, and you need to be, this big person, and a cleaning lady that has 8 kids can't possibly be happy, right? Because who is she? Like, everybody deserves happiness, and you can really get through that. And people say when they do but the breath work meditation with the sound bath, it's like a mental clarity, like the mind comes to a pause, where you're like, I'm not thinking about what I have to fix. I'm not thinking about the past or the future. Like, I'm in the moment. And that's really where anxiety, depression, all of that is really the root cause. Is you're either in the future or you're in the past, but you can't be depressed when you're here, because here doesn't get you depressed, right?
Exactly.
So, and it's also an emotional release. I have so many widows coming to my meditation where it's like, they tell me that I help them get through the grieving process without ever talking about grieving. It's bizarre. They feel better inside and outside just by coming, pausing, laying down, and just having, the sounds, the vibration working for them. Because it really, every bowl, every instrument, I think I play like 8 or 9 instruments during that time, that 1 hour that I do it. Yeah, that's why they say, that's why they're like, how do you even do that? How is that going while that is going? And then the music is going and you're talking, like, how does that even happen? I don't even know. Something possesses me and then it's just happening. It's like, I don't know. And I'm like, we are talking now. And when
Yes.
I am doing the sound bath or I'm teaching a yoga class, I'm like, I'm talking like this, no problem. But if you meet me like one-on-one, and I'm shy, I'm shy, I stutter, I'm like, I stumble over words. I'm like, I don't know. I lose my train of thought. Like, it's
Nina,
always,
I remember when we first met at one of your sound bath classes. Yeah, at Amber's location, right? Her business in Palm Coast, Florida.
yeah,
I remember when you and I met, you were leading the sound baths, and yeah, you came up a little bit shy, but then you something happened and you opened up
I
a
tell
lot.
you.
I
Yes.
love it.
That's exactly how it is. Like, you can ask anybody. It's like, oh, no, Nina is not like the one that's really out there talking to anyone.
Yeah, and I'm
Mm-mm.
glad that you opened up because then when we connected outside of the class, and now look, I mean, I'm just grateful for you, and I'm grateful to have you as a guest on the podcast today.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Mhm.
And it really, it helps with my own personality as well. Like, doing this really gives me so much passion, and I see how many people it helps, where it's
Yeah.
also, besides of calming the mind, helping with anxiety and depression, and even introducing these kind of tools to someone. They come and they don't know what to expect. I do the breath work with them, the sound bath, the meditation, and it can get intense on the first 2 times. People go in and out. They're like passing out, coming back in. It's like a weird, it's an incredible, intense experience. But when you are coming back to the room, you're like, I kind of feel tired, but I'm also having energy. and I'm like, want to go to bed, but at the same time, I could go party right now. So you like have all of these, and that needs to settle too. They talk about improving sleep,
Yes.
um, lowering high blood pressure,
Yes.
provenly, where they measure their blood pressure the day off. And then, the next day, because I used to do it twice a week. I do it now once a week. But they would measure it on a Monday, and then they will come on Tuesday, and then not on Wednesday, and on Thursday they will be there, and on Friday they're like,
Yes.
I didn't even take my medication over the weekend because I didn't have to, because it was like I really, and that kind of stuff is really, it is proven to improve your health. So this is not just some juju gumbo jumbo out the jungle, or from some witch. This stuff is really proven that it helps you with your alignment, with your health. Um, yeah,
I love
lots of
it.
things.
I
Quitting
love it. Very
smoking.
powerful. I love it. Very powerful. Thank you so much, Nina. Now, Nina, can you tell us about your woman's circle?
Yeah. Ooh,
Tell us more.
I do. I do love the women's circle, and we need to have more of those. We need to have
Yes.
more of those where we women come together, the sisterhood, where we all connect and share our different experiences. It's just an open circle where, everybody gets to share, everybody gets to, ask a question, where we always do a meditation also, not as intense as I usually do in the reset room. But I do start out with a small guided meditation, and then we just share about our experiences, hey, what, because in the meditation you're always letting go of something, you visit yourself, or you find something. It's always an experience, and we talk about, the different colors that you see and what you think it means, and what made you connect with this. And people have, women have reconnected with like loved ones that they haven't spoken with in years. Because this one lady, she's like, oh, in the meditation, I was in the barn where I grew up, and the next women's circle that she came, she says, hey, I called my aunt, and we're going to meet up soon, and we haven't spoken in like 10 years, and we reconnected. Like, this is the kind of stuff why you do, and I get goosebumps, that's the
Yes.
kind of stuff, that's why you do it. And whether or not you're making money with it or not, it could be all like, it's free anyway, it's just, nobody, people that do this kind of stuff don't do it for the money. It's for, the heart space. The karma is also a good thing to repair some stuff that I might, have done in the past, or where I feel like I need to, do good for the world, and give back. Yeah, the women's circles are so amazing. We're really in a safe space where a lot of women don't have that, right? Where it's like,
Right.
where can I even share without being judged? Where can I go without wearing a bra? Where can I go without makeup on? Where can I go without doing my hair? Where can I go without putting on this character that everybody is used to? Where can I be vulnerable? Where can I cry? And where can people just hold space for me, and without, having like a big hug it out moment? It doesn't have to be like this, but where people can just share, women can just share, what is going on in their lives, and whether or not they want advice, they just want people to listen to them. It's like, I just need to say this, and without anybody looking at me sideways. And that's just, the whole purpose of the women's circle is really to find that kind of womanhood, sisterhood, where we all come together, and we try to build a community. Because whether or not you have kids doesn't matter. It's not always about the family stress that you have at home, because people that don't have children also have stress. They also have a life. So it really doesn't matter, and it's really important. And that's exactly also something. It's like, oh, why is this lady here? She doesn't have any kids. Or why is this lady here? She has 8 children. Or why is this rich lady here? She has, the household help, and she has a nanny. Like, why is she stressed out? Like, it doesn't matter, because nobody's asking that question. You can come as you are, and it really doesn't matter who your mama is, who you're, where you come from, and what, your bank account says, and what the car that you drive, because it's really judgment-free zone, and we're here for everybody to just, share. And like I said, if it helps one person, what you say, then that's already changing the world for the better.
I love it. And I can definitely feel that you're passionate about it, the women's circle. And I've actually been to a women's circle before, and I agree with everything that you said 100%. I love it. Good vibes. Now, Nina, what is your best advice to the audience for walking with purpose and living a life of happiness?
Yeah. Happiness is something that is, I think, hard to define, right? It's for everybody, it's something different. Again, for some people, it's just, finding their purpose in life, and some people never find it, but can they also be happy, right? So I would just say, looking in the mirror and being okay with the person that looks back at you, right? Be the first person that smiles into the mirror, right? And it's like, that person's not going to smile back unless you smile. So
I
see,
love it.
and that's already all it takes. Like, that's where you find happiness, is inside of you, and you need to be okay with who you are, no matter what anyone says.
Bullseye. I love it.
Mm.
Thank you, Nina. And thank you for being a guest on the Walk With Me podcast. Nina, where can the audience find you?
Well, I am on social media, Experience Flow Wellness, Nina Harry. You find me really anywhere: TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, all over the place. Yeah, exactly. Experienceflow.com. Smoke signs. I'm in St. Augustine. You're going to find me. I'm going to be at the Bohemian Festival, February 28th. I'll be doing a sound bath there too. So that's where you can see me. And then I also am at the Cosmic Hippie on Tuesdays, usually 6, 7 o'clock, around there. But I always announce everything on social. And then I do on Thursdays at Soul Fitness. I do from 6:45 to 7:45. I do my breathwork sound baths there as well.
Excellent. And we have our Soul Reset Retreat coming up here that's hosted by Dr. Tanya Goldeneye. And that's March 6th through March 9th in Palm Coast, Florida. It's a place for you to release, reconnect, and reawaken. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a retreat you do not want to miss, right? So if
That's
you're
right.
looking to join in on a retreat, make sure to reach out via the contact us section on Life Service Center of America. And we are capping this event at 15 individuals. This is almost closed out, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure to
Oh,
reach out if that's you and you'd like to join. Yes. Nina, thank
cool.
you so much for being a
Love
guest
it.
on the Walk With Me podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, make
Thank
sure to check
you.
out Nina on all of her social media platforms and her website, experienceflow.com. Nina, thank you. God bless. Have a good one.
Oh, God bless. Thank you so much.